Testing. We're good.
Good?
Yeah.
I'm done.
Good.
How's mine?
Perfect. Beautiful.
Okay. So.
Let's start with the whole James Bond thing. Name's Bond. James Bond.
Wait, am I Clarice? Like what?
Yeah. Alright, so the name's Bond. James Bond.
I can't. Wait, again.
Alright,
I laughed. I'm sorry. I'm gonna try to stay dead serious. Let's look dead serious. Alright, ready? Yeah. Super serious.
Name's Bond. James Bond. Dun-dun-dun. Alright. So the reason why we're wearing a tinfoil hat today is to honor the solar eclipse that's currently going on at the time of filming this episode. Even though this episode is probably going to come out probably a few weeks after this. So, I'm not sure. Anyways, welcome back to the Jared and James channel. I'm Jared Rice. If you guys don't know, that must mean you're not subscribed to the channel, so you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button. Be sure to leave a like, drop a comment, let me know your thoughts. So follow me on every platform. So today we're actually being rejoined by the wonderful Nicoleta Cougentakis. And we're going to be talking about a whole list of
we have so much
awesome topics.
We've got so much. And so, thanks for having me.
Of course. So if you guys aren't going to want to miss this, this is going to be a wild episode. Let's dive into it now.
Let's do it.
Wait, so first of all, I actually just realized. Alright,
so
as many of us know, April 8th, today is the eclipse, which some people actually see this as the end of the world. Other people see this as a whole spiritual awakening, a new beginning. And other people are just putting the glasses on them and following whatever official narrative there is, which in this case, as I was actually telling you beforehand, when it actually came to this eclipse, I actually noticed even the whole truth seeking community was actually divided as far as what to actually do during this. So based on that, both of us actually decided to err on the side of caution, as opposed to staring at it for 4 hours. Oh my God! We did them in fact
about 2-3 minutes.
Yeah, we stayed for 2-3 minutes. We're probably gonna go back out once
3:25.
Yeah. And we did actually wear the glasses, even though there's
I don't know,
we'll nonsense surrounding them.
Let's talk about it more before we do. So here's some things that I found skeptical, and you can just dive in and cut me off whenever.
I have a lot of interesting stuff too. Also
I'll just go until you stop me. So stop me at all costs. However, so the first thing was I didn't know about the eclipse. I'm not into astrology. I do like the signs, and I do think that people pick up a lot of traits.
Is there truth to them, do you think?
I believe that there's a truth to them. I don't dive into it, and I don't dedicate my life to it.
What's your sign, by the way?
So I'm a Scorpio.
I'm a Leo.
And I don't know really much about any of the signs besides my own. Mm-hmm. And I know, unless I'm dating someone, I won't really look it up. And even if still, I don't. Because, in my mind, if you're supposed to be with someone, your horoscope shouldn't get you there.
Yeah,
the other thing is horoscopes are so broad.
It can be, coincidence, happens, in the same breath. I wouldn't be someone, who would actually try to, force it, to happen based on...
Our zodiac birth charts are perfect for each other.
Right, yeah.
But we hate each other and cheat on each other. But our birth charts match. Okay, fine. I'm not gonna judge, to each their own. But
everyone has
for me, in my mind, to give me a horoscope, I am my own human, and there are probably more than the 9 billion we know about, right? There's probably way more
beyond the ice wall,
uncounted for. I'm sure there's plenty.
About that?
We'll go there, and I'm sure there's plenty. I also got to talk to you about this base that I saw. Remind me about the base. It's on
Antarctica?
Google Maps. Did I show you this?
No.
You're gonna freak out. Okay, so anyways, I'm sorry, where was I? My ADD took.
You're talking about the horoscopes and...
So it's signs. So broad, and it's first of all...
Astrology.
Yeah, and now, here's the thing with horoscopes. I know the CoStar app. I have friends on it. But I also have extremist friends that quite literally revolve their lives around astrology, which astrology is real. It's energy, it's water moving around. It's definitely going to affect our moods and this and that. But to generalize an entire massive billion person population based off of, you know, how some people or some signs, like, what are your studies to back up that me as a Scorpio is going to have that day?
Right.
Because all the other Scorpios are allegedly also going to have it. I just think that it's too many people, too broad. We all live in different parts of the world, so we're all being affected by it differently. So that goes against setting a horoscope, because if it's so aggressive over here, but not so aggressive over in China, are they going to have a different horoscope? You know what I'm saying? So, like, none of it to me ever mathematically adds up. And I'm a black and white person. I like 2 + 2 = 4. And if it doesn't, like, I'm okay with gray area. I am. I just, for me personally, like, I want to see the facts, or I'm skeptical. So, hence our tinfoil hats.
As I'm always saying, like, question everything.
Yeah. So, what do you think?
I think that, like, so definitely is something to, like, astrology, but, like, having said that, like, I'm not gonna say that, like, every person, like, who's, like, a Pisces, like, is gonna be doing this, and that.
Yeah.
Like, and, like, every person, like, who's, like, a Leo is gonna be doing, like, X, Y, and Z. Like, everyone, like, is, like, their own, like, individual person. So, like, I don't think that you can actually, claim, like, every person, like, who's, like, born, like, during the time of year, like, is gonna do this. But, like, can there be, like, some, like, commonalities, like, between people, like, who were born, like during certain times of the year, and possibly, like, to be honest, like, so, like, I've actually never looked, like, too deep, like, into, like, astrology, but like, there actually is, like, this one, like, really interesting guy, like, his name is Santos Bonacci, and, like, so this guy does something called astrotheology, like, which is, like, some, like, super deep stuff, like, so, like, I can't even, like, explain, like,
is
what
he
it is,
into, like, astral projection and stuff?
Probably, it's as if it's some, like, interesting stuff. And also getting into, like, astral, like, projection, like, so
I mean, that dives into fitness culture. Big.
Like, do you ever see the new Doctor Strange movie?
I believe I did, but my ADHD might have not have let me like fully process.
Dream walking, like it's kind of like people actually being able to like exit like their current bodies and like enter like this like dream body. Like I mean, like it obviously sounds like crazy. Like obviously sounds like
physically or mentally.
Sounds super like tinfoil hat. Like both, but like I've actually heard like some like interesting stories, like especially dark stories, like when it comes like it's like witches, like and like energy manipulation, like people actually being able to like exit like this body and like enter like another one like through the dream state. Like man, like speaking, it's like the whole like Doctor Strange like movie like is actually based on like this like horror story. I think
I'm gonna rewatch that
There's some
and pay
interesting
attention. I have trouble paying attention, so I'm gonna pay attention. And circle back with more feedback on that because but what I will say is I do think some things, like I do believe in the paranormal and like you know, and phenomenons and like astrology in certain ways, like you said, but I think sometimes people just take it a little too far.
Right.
Like today I'm not eating this, or I'm not texting my husband because my horoscope said don't. Like
that's too much.
You're going to base your daily routine off of it. It probably won't go well, but if you're doing something like deeper, more spiritual, more meaningful to yourself, I get that.
Right.
But when it's just this like broad, I check my horoscope, I check my co-star, and here's my birth chart, so we should get married. Like
that's nonsense.
It's to me, it's and like I hate to say that because it's someone's
hobby.
Right. Yeah. I hate to say, like, because it's someone's hobby, and I don't want to take that from them, and I'm not gonna.
Teach their own, right?
Right, but I have another theory, you know, so I just would, like, you know, asking for myself, and I'll take all the hate and all the heat. Crystals. You mean rocks? You quite literally mean rocks that you guys have had access to your whole lives, that you think that putting rocks in your pockets is going to make your day better? Has your day ever gotten better since you started putting rocks in your pockets? Crystals do actually have like some interesting crystals have energy, and we're going to talk about like energy, but right? Wait, and I'm sorry to cut you off because this just drives me out. I don't care if you think crystals have energy and that's why you're carrying them. That's fine. That's your thing. But if you really want to carry some energy, why don't you get some plants? why don't you go and grab something with serious energy, like live plants, live stock. Like these things that I surround myself with quite literally change my day. Being around nature, live chickens, touching the wood, touching the ground, touching a tree,
grounding,
touching leaves,
tree.
holding leaves makes me feel more spiritual than crystals.
Electrons.
Maybe some people just attract to the crystals and they're pretty, and I have no issue with them, and I think they bring like a Zen vibe. They do. Right. But I've had experiences where, hey, I slept with an amethyst under my pillow and had a nightmare.
What is that?
It's the purple crystally one. It's supposed to make you like super psychic. And
you had a nightmare when you?
I had a nightmare.
Wow.
And I had another time where I tried it and I had sleep paralysis.
Really?
So actually, it really scared me. It's also against my religion, so I think I don't know, because I'm religious, but I'm also a skeptic. But I'm a religious skeptic. So, and then I want to allow people to have their religion, which if that's, astrological things, so be it. That's why I say, I hate to say, like, I think it's dumb when you do this or that.
Put someone else, to put down like someone else's like beliefs, like
yeah, and like if that's as deep as they can take it, that's as deep as they can take it. Like it's not our responsibility to make sure that you guys understand it to the extent that we understand it. Or vice versa. Like we don't have to understand it to the extent you understand it, right?
Right.
Like, we don't need to understand astrology the way they do because we're not as interested. But if we were, and like you were like, hey Nicole, I'm so interested, I would never turn around and knock you for it.
Right.
But I would behind your back to my husband. I would go home and be like, guess what? This fucking kid carries rocks in his pockets. Straight up. I'm sorry, I will. And I know I'm gonna get hate for this, and I just want to know one story, and then I'll leave it alone, of how the crystal carrying changed your life, really, in a very paranormal way. And when I get that one good, solid story with proof, I will back you guys up forever. But until then,
fair point. Crystals
in your pockets. I had a woman tell me to put it up my body, in my bra, like crazy.
What?
Yep. I was 22 years old. It was at Red Hot Salon in Roslyn. They had a next door crystal shop, and the girl told me that she carries them inside her body. I was like, wow. So there's rocks in you. Crystals in you. I'm being disrespectful. There's crystals in you right now.
That's interesting.
Please cut out the disrespect.
Right. Yeah.
There's crystals, like, in your body right now, and okay, and this girl quite literally had like a really messed up situation going on in her life at the time.
So then, like, this
might be not good for you.
Sorry to cut you off. Could she been like using the crystals like as like source of like grounding, like especially because maybe it's possible like the rest of like her life like situation like during this time was like kind of like messed up. So like maybe she was actually looking for something that's like latch onto like as by like grounding like herself. But like having said like,
you could have latched onto something bad.
Yeah. Or she may have been like ignoring like addressing like the problem like head on, like it's like she was just like looking for this like alternative source of like latching on something.
Yeah, like that's your quick fix.
Right.
Like, cast a spell and like it'll be fine. And like here's my take on it, and it's personal and everyone has their own, and I believe in spiritual things. So I'm not knocking any spirituality. It's like, you guys can laugh and say, oh, she believes in God. She wants to go to church. She believes in the Bible. Like, and people do laugh at that all day. It's fine. It's okay. But it's not even insulting to me.
But, like, speaking of that, like, the same people, like, who are going to, like, mock you, like, for that, like, are the same people, like, who are going to tell you, like to trust the science, especially because, like, so many people, like are actually claiming to be, like atheists.
Yes.
But, like, meanwhile, like, these people, like, aren't actually atheists. Like, science, like, has actually become their religion, basically.
Yeah, that's Scientology is the creepiest. I mean, if we get into that, we can talk about that.
There's some dark stuff with that.
I walked past a Scientology building and tried to interact with them a few times, and I was in the Netherlands,
I want to hear about this.
I'll tell you about it. But
Scientology, Scientology actually has like, some like super like, dark roots. I mean, like,
my gosh, I will tell you all about it. All about it. everything.
Wait, well, like,
I got the inside scoop. I'm crazy.
Wait. So, who actually was it? Actually, L. Ron Hubbard, like, who actually started like the whole Scientology? I think.
Nicole is good at facts, but she's not good at names. And numbers and remembering. So I'm good at exactly what happened at what time and when, but I'm not good at who did it.
but like so like as far as like I know, like Scientology was actually based on like it's like naval like officer like he was like connected like to L. Ron Hubbard, and like L. Ron Hubbard like, was connected to Jack Parsons, like who was connected to Walt Disney, like all this was.
I didn't know they were connected to Walt Disney. Now I'm very concerned.
So it's like all stuff like was actually leading to the creation like of NASA in a lot of ways.
Yeah. I have a lot to get into Scientology. Should we do Eclipse first and back? Yeah. Okay, because I was like, we're gonna go off. I think we just jumped 18 topics just now.
We did but like this has been like
that was your preview. So he's gonna send me that. So we're at 6 minutes. I'm gonna chop that up and make my own little reel.
That was wild.
I'm gonna make a preview reel out of that if you send me the footage. I don't know how to make it as good as you, but I can make a preview reel quick on CapCut.
We jumped like 20 topics in the past 10 minutes.
We're coming back now. Let's talk
back
about
to the eclipse.
What happened when I got here. So I get to the podcast and Jared and I were already talking prior to this about like, do you want to watch it? Like we should see it. Now, I was skeptical for a few reasons that I shared with Jared. One was that there was April 8th, 1970 in the Ohio paper that they predicted this eclipse. That's number
1970,
one, which is
so that's
really
like
interesting.
It's
I
54
understand
years
that, like,
beforehand.
yeah, and like I understand NASA and they have the technology, so I wasn't really so creeped out by that. I mean, it is weird that they were on point with the exact day, time, everything. It is, but
and it's also weird. Like NASA was actually firing rockets like at the sun during this eclipse.
But like, why?
That's
okay, so now here comes more questions.
Right.
So I'm driving on the highway the other day.
Oh yeah,
and you know how they have those signs like today will be heavy flooding or buckle your seatbelt. It said Monday, April 8th, eclipse. Use mass transit. Why?
Right.
What are you gonna do to the subways, the trains? Why? Because I bet you the power goes out. I bet you everyone's stuck on a fucking train. I bet you everyone's stuck on the subway. Everyone's stuck on fucking mass transit.
I didn't even think about that.
And the rest of us have our cars to go home. And guess what? When they said, who says an eclipse lasts 4.5 hours at most? Why on earth do we need 2 to 3 weeks of food?
Right.
This is a 4-hour thing throughout the day. It's like daylight savings. Why do we need to stock up a bunker?
Or could the quote unquote like people like in power like could they actually be planning like on like shutting down like the whole like grid, but then like blaming it like on the eclipse?
Isn't it right before the election right now?
Right. Yeah.
When's the election?
Exactly.
November 4. So
2024 is going to be like
November 4th.
Crazy
it's
year.
November 4th.
It's right. It's important to be like spiritually
grounded. It's my birthday
grounded.
gift every year.
Really?
I get to vote. I'm the 5th, so I'm like,
actually
yes. And then the marathon's the 6th. I'm like, I vote, I birthday, I run a
really.
Marathon. But that's anyways, yeah. So like, I was like, that's what scared me. So I was like, what do you mean, mass transit only? Like, what's wrong if I'm driving? I have headlights. I can turn them on. We all have driven upstate in pitch black. We've all driven, like if you're an unexperienced driver, take mass transit. But if you're a decent driver and you've been at the wheel behind 5 years or more and you're comfortable, if that's the case, why on earth are you taking mass transit? Have you never driven at night? How about for those of you that can't drive at night, take mass transit or don't drive or stay home? Why take mass transit as a recommendation all over the highway on every single highway sign? Not one that said buckle up your seatbelt. It's the law. They all said April 8th eclipse, use mass transit for the last week and a half, for the last 10 days.
That's interesting.
Which 10 days is like a cycle of like a
news coverage. Or?
It's like a brainwash cycle.
Right.
Like you only need like 11 or 12 days to brainwash someone.
That's interesting.
So like I'm glad that they ingrained it to everyone who commutes every single day from out east to west or west to east and vice versa, and they're seeing this all day. You better take a train that day. You better take. I'm scared.
And also,
honestly.
Speaking of it, so those same electronic signs, we're actually same exact signs a few years ago. We're actually telling everyone it's wear masks.
Why?
I'm telling everyone
it's a fucking eclipse.
Yeah, I remember telling everyone get their jabs.
Why is the moon?
A few years ago.
What's going on with the moon? This is from the moon. You're talking about the eclipse.
No.
I was like, why would you get jabs through the eclipse? Okay, sorry, misunderstood.
So what I was saying, there was same electronic signs show up on the highway.
Yes. Get vaxxed.
Yeah. What's actually the purpose of having those massive electronic signs that come on every highway? Could this be this massive brainwashing tool? Everyone's gonna be.
They're useless. They're useful for some things. Traffic updates.
Right.
When the next exit will clear up. If there's an Amber Alert or a missing elderly person.
That's
there
fair.
are some things I find.
That's a fair
here,
point.
Speed limit, cops ahead, tolls
right.
ahead. Some things we do need it for, but I think they also use it and implement it into another way.
Social engineering.
Yes, it's another form of media. It literally is. It's an electric billboard that's in our face while we're driving.
Right.
In the most populated places, the highways, the LIE. Come on.
And also, getting back to some more sketchy stuff that's going on, when it comes to the eclipse, especially when it comes to dates. So on this date, 120 years ago, Aleister Crowley, who's actually well known as being probably the most famous dark occultist. 120 years ago, on this day, he actually contacted the devil.
What?
Yeah, so April...
Wait, I'm sorry, can you re-give me the backstory of who he is? A little bit more...
Yeah, so Aleister Crowley, he's well known as being this famed dark occultist. He actually came up
from when?
With his own religion. I want to say the late 1800s, into the early 1900s.
Okay.
So he came up with his own religion, it was actually called Thelema, and a lot of was based on using magic, using
dark magic.
Yeah.
Not
dark magic.
Trying to do something good for yourself.
Manifestation. Yes.
Yeah, change manifestation.
No. So it's
not even
not that.
Doing dark magic.
Yeah.
I'm going to hex this human and stuff such like that.
Exactly.
Now, I think personally that if there is a higher power and you're so obsessed with the universe and you believe and trust the process, why are you trying to control it with your horoscope? It doesn't really add up. Shouldn't you just let every day go by and trust the process, or be so trusting in it as you are?
God do it.
Whoever
God.
your God is, right? Because to some people they'll say, well, there's no... I'm just going to say right there before anyone says anything. Whoever your higher power is, let your higher power take care of your path. If you believe you have a path because of your birth chart, why are you reading it every day? That's driving yourself crazy,
trying to
control it, and
trying to change the path. God is actually trying to give you the opportunity to take this path, but then you're constantly trying to figure it all out before it can even happens.
Exactly. And I think that the issue too is that, and this goes for my religion, I don't know about anyone else, and even if you're into the universe, it'd probably piss Mother Nature off too. If they have a plan for you, let's say Mother Nature is who you pray to, right? Even her, any higher power is going to be offended that you're trying to change their course, not only with crystals and spells and all these things. I think you're going to upset them, throw your life off track, end up downward spiraling, and having to find your way back, and probably not mess with it again.
That's interesting.
I think when I was younger, me and my friends used to tamper with that stuff, and it never really. There was always some weird bad stuff.
I'm actually curious. Have you ever tried using one of those Ouija board type stuff?
Yes, and
there's some dark stuff associated with that.
My friends and I
contacting demons, right?
My friends and I were about 12, and we used my mom's cutting board. Because they said the most authentic way to do it was a real piece of wood, not these plastic ones, to draw the letters out. We drew the board ourselves with a special Sharpie or whatever the heck it was, and then you use a shot glass and you have to let it move on its own. Everyone's only allowed the tip of their pinky. I don't recall any paranormal activity, but what happened was we did it at my friend's house, and like his whole family quite literally, I mean, what happened was like the house was, and still is like they still own the home, and like it's a sketchy, like weird things happen there all the time, and like
really
very demonic things happened after, and I'm talking like family tragedies in the house back to back to back after we did that in their house. And like,
that's insane.
His father is like a super Christian who literally just all day prays to get this thing out of the house. I mean,
really,
it's, you know,
that's
I don't
so
know, like
wild.
We could be paranoid, it could be real, it could be not, but like who knows.
But like, speaking of like the whole concept when it comes to like energies like actually controlling certain like areas, like so I'm actually like two interesting like points like when it comes to that. Like, so, like on the one hand, particularly like, when it comes to any of these like wars, like certain areas are almost these like haunted houses. Like, so like why is it like certain areas like are always like, getting like attacked? Like certain areas like or
Well, do you believe there's good spirits?
Yeah. Yeah, so like, I'm actually fully believe like in like certain like spirits are like working for us, and like there's like others that are like essentially demons, like demonic.
Right.
So there's definitely certain like areas like of like the world, certain neighborhoods. Why is it that like certain neighborhoods like
maybe they're on Indian
this
burial grounds.
constant tragedy?
The whole entire. You know what's funny? I read something. I read something. It was a meme, and it was supposed to be funny. It was sarcastic. It was like, "Wow, everything's been so messed up lately. It's like we were all built on a giant cemetery because, like, we're all built on a huge Indian burial ground. Like, hello."
That's so dark. Oh my god. Should we like segue him into like another topic or?
I mean, no, I'm interested in this. So this guy's name was McCaster. What is it?
Aleister Crowley.
Aleister Crowley.
And like speaking of it, so many celebrities like these days like actually revere like this guy, like as like many of us know, like celebrities that like have actually been known like to like channel like dark forces and stuff like that. So it's like a lot of them. Yeah, so it's like
it's giving Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly drinking each other's blood.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah, so like there's definitely like a lot of like dark forces like man, it's like
Illuminati vibes.
If you want to like take this like kind of like one step further, like, man, it's like I remember heard like something that was like really wild like recently like that. But also like so something else that's also really interesting. So like I heard something recently like where like every like opening like on like a human like is actually a portal into like other like dimensions like so
like right now during the eclipse.
No.
Okay.
When it comes to like Epstein, like all these like celebrities like doing all this like dark stuff, like when it comes to kids like openings like having portal like significant series. So like I may have to like bleep like some of this out. But like
my god.
You know what I'm saying now? Dark stuff.
This is way more satanic.
Yes.
I'm burning all my Balenciaga. I don't wear it, but now I'm literally burning it. Or I'm gonna sell it, but I'm selling it to whoever soulless person wants to wear it.
Right.
That's seriously...
It's sickening, right?
It's not even that. It's fascinating. I'm like... First of all, because it's sickening, sad, yes, of course. It's evil. But like, wait a minute. What?
I just blew your mind, right?
Yes. Like, I am shocked. Like, what? Wait, why didn't I think of this? Because they look at the kids like they're portals, so they're going to go ahead and like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Seriously? Why? What is it about celebrities you think growing up that makes them want to join these cultures? I think that it's a lot of the scrutiny they go under, and they feel like they need to grasp onto something, and that's like the
could be that
most intense one.
Could be that. Or could it be like, could it also be like all these like, different like secret societies like are actually promising celebrities like all this like fame and fortune.
Yeah.
Like a lot of like celebrities like it tends to have like these like rags to riches like stories. So like a lot of them like are actually starting out like poor. So like what happens like when like one of these big like executives like who's like part of like one of these like secret societies like approaches like it's like child like prodigy and like convinces them like they're gonna be able like to like feed their whole families. They can have like generational like wealth as long as they spew whatever like narrative like these people like want them to, and like as long as they perform like all these like rituals.
This goes on with this also somehow has to tie into the whole like Amanda Bynes thing,
right?
And like like how
Her
they
whole
were
life,
the celebrities, how they were like impregnating and molesting the child celebrities. Like I believe so many of them are victims that we don't know about. Like I swear that Justin Bieber
probably so many more
was put through something terrible. Like I swear to God, he changed, and he was a really good kid, and like it just feels like he's been depressed. So,
right?
like, what did they do to him?
And also, like, as like I actually recently made like a whole like, video about like, cause, like what happened like with the like Kanye West like situation. Like,
Kardashians happened. They do that to all men.
Kardashians.
They're a little. You guys are manipulating bitches. Oh, excuse my language.
Exactly.
But
like I've also heard like some interesting theories like about like the Kardashians like actually being like legit like witches. Like I mean like I'm actually trying to like siphon like energy like off of like
they like talk about
their
it
men
too. Like Chloe talks
really?
about it all the time on the show.
I didn't
like,
know that.
I love watching the show. It's so entertaining
let's
to
spread
me.
This my theory.
It's so fun to watch, and I'm not gonna lie. Like Kim Kardashian makes Skims brand clothing that I love to wear because it's the best quality workout clothing I've ever worn. Yeah, it's expensive for me, but it's so worth it because I live in workout clothes. But watching the show is entertaining to me, and they do talk about like manifesting all the time, and they're all always like so zen, and it's just like a little too shady. Like, what are you guys? I
know what you're saying.
But, anyway, circling back, I do want to go over why we removed these.
All right, fair enough.
So,
get into it.
We should. So, when I got here, I walked up and I was like, all right, Jared came out with some glasses. He's like, let's do this. Because on the way over, I was texting him like, should we look at the eclipse? I want to see the eclipse. And then I get here, I'm a little sketched out. Like, not only were they saying mass transportation, did we go over that?
We started to, but like,
we stopped. That's probably where we got cut off.
That's where we stopped, I think. Yeah.
So it was very shady to me that they were like, take public transportation, like, stock up for 2 to 3 weeks. Like, these are the protocols for a pandemic. Or
eclipses like supposedly happen like fairly often. Like so like, why is like this particular like eclipse like supposedly like, way more like important like influential like compared to like the one that happened like in 2017? Right.
Why is it?
I don't know.
Me neither. I don't know. But, so, I think what's more important is something shady going on.
Right.
Because I have a few theories. I don't know. I don't know exactly what I think it is. But
we're all about fun theories on this podcast.
But I have a feeling that the government is doing survival of the fittest, population control, killing the dumbest, killing the sheep. And the sheep will pick up these glasses and go outside and wear them and look at the sun for 4 hours. Now, he and I looked at the sun for about 3 minutes in total.
Her eyes started
tearing up. Watering, even with the blackout glasses. Legitimately. I was done. I was like, this is dangerous. Like, we're not doing this. They want you to stare into the sun for 4.5 hours at its, like, most brightest peak.
Right.
And everyone get on a subway, everyone get on a mass transportation where we can mass control you, and wear these glasses, everyone, the same pair, like billions distributed.
Right. That's so true.
What are these is there chemicals that the sun are gonna burn and it's gonna leak into your body and you're gonna be another sheep? Like, I'm a little scared that we even did 2 minutes of it, like...
Who knows?
I'm so sorry. That's for us to go maybe look at it, but we already did.
Yeah, we already did, I guess. So.
But yeah, I'm like, are you guys going to have a chemical in the lenses that, if the eclipse hits it, like, I don't trust that we don't have the science to just kill off all like the sheep. And the people that they probably want left are people who are like living off their land, off the grid, Amish, these types of folk, because they're not going to like come and give a crap what the government does.
Wait. So like, I'm actually curious. So like, why would they actually try to keep the people like who are like going against their agenda though?
It's not going against their agenda. They're not in their way.
Not in their way. Interesting.
Right. There's no competition. They're living off their own land, off the grid. They're not bothering anyone. They're not making so much money that now I'm not talking big farms. I'm talking, you know, like I said, Amish people like me who have 12 chickens in the yard and home grow my food, or like stuff like that. Like, I feel like even me they'd come for, because I'm not like that. But I think bigger farms, people that have like, let's say 2 acres and a couple cows, is that they'd like them there. Why? Restart humanity, number one, but in that kind of way. Or hear me out, that 2 would be that my first instinct was to weed out the sheep, quite literally, and see who's left. And then on top of why would they
take control of them?
Take control of them. And who minds the people that do their own thing? Because they're not bothering us anyway, right? They're doing their own thing.
Right.
So where's the competition with them? They're not posting on social media, don't do this, don't do that. They're too busy cropping.
It's interesting. But like, I'm actually gonna play like a little bit of
devil's advocate.
Devil's advocate here. Like, so like, could they be trying to like first weed out the sheep, but then like after that, like
building a strong army of geniuses?
No, I'm so like.
Oh, sorry. Continue.
I wasn't gonna say that. And like maybe like after that, like, you don't think like after that, like they actually then like go after like
identify the threat.
The rest of the people, especially because like, so like something like I actually find like very interesting, like when it comes to all these like evil like agendas that are like being like played out these days, like, is it like, so like a lot of people actually think like this is like all about like money. But like,
it's about power.
Yeah, so like a very small portion of it like actually has anything to do with like money, like especially because like Bill Gates, like billionaire, like Mark Zuckerberg, billionaire, like all the people like quote unquote run the world, like are all like billionaires. So the thing is like money like doesn't like satisfy like these people, like, so like, there has to be something more to it. Like, I actually think like all these like people are actually working for like these like demonic entities, like as a way of like trying to like take more power and like steal like more of our spiritual energy, like, especially because like our spiritual energy is actually keeping them like alive in some ways. Like, so then like it's actually flip like this whole concept like on like its head. Like, the more that like we're actually doing all these like high vibrational things, like the better like health like we're in, like the more positive stuff like we're actually doing, like the less power like they actually have like over us, and like that actually makes them mad, like especially because like their whole goal like is control like manpower.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I agree with that, and I think in that way that also goes back to saying like weeding out the sheep, because now the people they're controlling, they feel or find that these people are they're almost identifying their threats.
Right. Yes.
And they're like,
that's a big point.
Here are our threats.
Right.
Let's go get them.
Yeah.
Or let's use them to our ability. It's one or the other. Either way, I don't see it ending well in their minds.
And also, like, a lot of like also like, ties to the whole like communist like manifesto, like, and like
I really do.
Yeah,
like that you noticed that I didn't even say it.
really, yeah. So it's like something that's actually like really interesting. Like, when it comes to like, the whole communist like manifesto, like, it actually starts out like only going after certain people. And then what happens is like these people like will then go after like the next group of people. So the whole thing is that like a lot of like works over this like divide and conquer like agenda,
right?
And then
that's exactly. I think you're right. I think you hit the nail on the head. Divide and conquer, and think they tried that already.
Right,
Democrat Republican didn't work.
Right.
So they're gonna try again now.
Is it
today? Like, are we literally in the midst of it right now?
Could be.
If we come back,
it's a spiritual
and
time
we're not,
right now.
and we'll see. But
This is spiritual warfare, I think.
It is, except
Pitting people's energies
I really
against each other.
believe like good triumphs no matter what.
I think so too.
No matter what.
Like speaking of it's actually there's been this super interesting comment. Like I actually got like on TikTok the other day. Stuff that ties into like everything like me and like I'm talking about. Referring to my post talking about like is time I'm actually moving faster these days. Like so like someone actually commented like saying that like the more time goes on, the more they'll alter it. Project Looking Glass showed them that all multiverses converge to the same outcome, and that outcome was only in our favor, not theirs. So like, could it say like when it comes like altering your time, like or like all these like various efforts like to like control the weather, like control like our thought patterns, could like also like be this way of like trying to like alter the outcome, like because like maybe it's possible like people like are very like spiritual, like actually like even though like a lot of them like are actually fighting for the demonic side, but like could it like actually be that like these people like already know like God wins in the end, like the good is gonna win out. So like, these people like are trying so hard like to like manifest like all these like alternative agendas like in this way of like hoping like the ultimate outcome like is gonna change, like is actually gonna favor them.
So I was fascinated by that because I was like, maybe that's why we're living longer, you know.
Right.
And I was saying, like,
that was actually very interesting.
Also, maybe we're actually just living the same amount of time, but time has been shaved, so we think we lived longer, but we didn't. Mm-hmm. Who knows? Because honestly, it feels like time is flying.
Yeah.
But
a lot of people feel that way too.
Yeah, it has been. Like, where is the time going? I'm very, like, I don't know, maybe it's getting older, but it's definitely doesn't feel as slow as it did when I was in high school.
Right.
Or 10 years, 15 years, 20 years ago. It doesn't feel that slow. But I was thinking too, like, now here's something that would be, but I'm curious the time you would need to measure it. If you were to build your own clock, and you know this clock to be a manually functioning clock, like there's no automated, nothing, no one's connected to it, it's like an off-the-grid, your own clock, and you start taking the day and time on your own, like you go totally on your own and count the minutes and hours, which you said no one's going to do, but if someone lives on their own and doesn't read the news and could just build their own clock, they could probably do this. And I would be curious to see where in a few years what day they think it is versus us.
Interesting.
And they're going based off of a manual clock.
And also, speaking of which, like, so like, who actually decides like when daylight savings is? Like, how that like whole concept like actually come about? I was actually researching this like a few days ago. Like, I'm like I actually found out like supposedly like the secretary like of like commerce or something like that. Like,
why would
like
they
actually
want
decides
it?
when the savings is?
But can someone explain why we need the sun to go down later?
So like my whole thought like Brian, it's like actually to do with like so it's like a lot of these like people like who are like in power, quote unquote, like are actually worshipping like Saturn, like who's actually known as like the Roman god of time. So it's like in this effort like invert everything and to take us like further away like from God. Like these people like are gonna convince us like they're actually controlling the time, like as opposed to God controlling the time.
That and us controlling our own time too. Like they're taking it away from us. Like there are these higher powers. We don't know who they are and what they're doing. I've never gone so far into like who, you know, Illuminati, who's in it, what is it, is it real, is that even what it's called? I can tell you about Scientology and what I learned there, but I've never dove into the celebrity portion of it because I thought that was a celebrity culture, not a higher ups culture, and I don't consider celebrities higher ups. I consider them the higher ups puppets.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, actually, I'm fully agree with that. I would actually almost like consider like the celebrities like to be like puppets of the puppets.
Yes. And then who are they listening to? We don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Like, could it be someone, or could it just be themselves and they're just like super greedy and want to control the earth?
Or could it just be like
we don't know?
Or could it just be like this whole like Wizard of Oz like type of situation? Like as soon as you like actually pull back the curtain, like there's actually no one there. Like,
the great Oz has spoken. Oh, pay no attention to that man behind the curtain. spirit. I am the great and powerful Wizard of Oz.
Because like controlling everything, and so like maybe maybe at the end of the day, it's actually up to like us like along with God, like to actually create like our own realities.
Yeah,
That's
and I think that's
empowering
something that
view,
we did before that was right that we're not doing now, and everything feels like we have less time to do it.
Right.
You know, like it wasn't like this. It wasn't.
I feel
such
that
like
way
a
also.
hustle and bustle. Like it was
every single minute, like is like occupied, like
Yes.
doing something.
Yeah, totally. Like we don't have a minute to just chill. As soon as your
Right.
eyes open, it's like go, go, go. Unless you're a kid, you know. And
it's something that like part of just like my culture, like or like is like something actually happening with like the time. Like
I truly
I don't
think
know.
something's happening. I can see the difference in the
think
generations.
So too. Yes, I think so too.
I believe that the newer generation is like the one right after millennials, Gen Z. Like they're much more well behaved. I've noticed they get better grades. They're healthier overall. They're more knowledgeable, but they're also mainly hardcore liberal.
Right.
So they're keeping them like alive and strong and smart and this and that, but they're also keeping a lot of them hardcore liberal. A lot of them, the Gen Z, yeah, I mean, not all of them, but if you're looking at, I mean, I am talking about kids in college, you know, most of those kids are liberals.
Right.
I mean, colleges typically are liberal breeding grounds, but like, you know,
exactly.
Some colleges won't
the whole college system, like,
yeah.
is like all about like breeding like a
bunch of liberals,
it's like brainwash a group of like liberals,
and then they're all like complaining about their student loans, like.
Right.
You guys literally paid for this.
Right, yeah.
We like told you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we have the hats. Listen to us.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, so I agree with all of it. Like I think it's so hard to figure out. Also, there's this I got to get you the coordinates and I will get them to you before you post. It's on Google Maps. You copy paste the coordinates. It leads you to acres, hundreds of acres, I believe even miles
of unidentified land.
Of unidentified land, but if
really?
you look on Google Maps, you can see this like trench that goes into the ground that looks like it's full of like uranium.
This is so up my alley.
Gets even crazier.
I love this stuff.
Gets even crazier. It's protected for miles by navy, by tanks,
right?
Ships, like
sounds a lot like.
What's over there? Like it's giving Area 51 kind of vibe, but no one knows what it is. It doesn't, like, you know, with Area 51, we know we're not allowed there. We know it's like a underground NASA, whatever. Like we understand the rules, right? But this has no explanation.
Right.
It's just a random. And I'm going, okay, well, here's my theory. Maybe they're extracting a resource and they don't want anyone else to get it because it looks like uranium. It's neon green. Maybe it's radioactive. They don't want anyone getting near it. Maybe they're actually doing something good, or who knows what's in there. So we got to pull that up
or
dive into
it. Could some of these like unidentified like lands like could this actually be like
naval bases?
No, I'm sorry,
creating bombs.
Could be that too. Or it could also be like this place like where all these like dead celebrities like and actually end up. So this is actually total speculation. This is like completely for like entertainment purposes only. But like for instance, like
I think there's a whole world underground that we don't know about.
Oh yeah, well,
oh my God, Diddy just had tunnels. He's allowed it.
Yeah. Also, like speaking
all of them had tunnels.
Yeah.
Pablo Escobar.
That's true too.
What was the most recent dude that just got out of jail? El Chapo. I mean, they all have these tunnels leading to that underground world. Where does it go?
Exactly.
I bet you it's the coolest world that we're not allowed in.
Or like speaking of, so have you ever heard of like DUMS?
No. It was a social psychiatrist and assistant professor from Cincinnati. Okay. The study was why people smile when something bad happens to you. So, for instance, it's a millisecond, so it's hard to see, so people don't notice it. But if you do something, let's say you get a promotion at work, and you come to tell me, and before I congratulate you, I kind of have like a congratulations, like a little moment of sadness.
Right.
Versus if you came to me and then said, and this is the same way, but it's also can go this way, where you came to me and said, you know, I got fired today, and I went, what happened? Like that smile right before.
Right.
Like, why are you even smiling? This person just got fired. Why are you like, what? What happened? Like,
right.
So, like, this doctor went off, and the assistant professor went off, and they were doing all their research, and, like, what they found was it's, like, the reasoning is obviously what you think. It's that people that are unhappy with themselves will take it out on everyone else.
So like a lot of stuff, it also tends to like kinds of like having haters. Like, the thing is, like whenever like, someone like leaves like a nasty comment like on your page, they're actually not like saying that like about you. Like but, like most of the time, like they're actually unhappy with like their own lives. I mean, almost like turns into like so like misery among loves company situation. Like they're actually trying to like make you unhappy too. Like especially because like
yes. Yeah. So and that would be letting them win, which we never do.
Yeah.
We're above it.
Yeah.
Like we know. But it's more about, the study is more about to help yourself evaluate the people in your life. So, like, pay attention to, like, if you looked at me and told me something tragic happened, my face would remain tragic the entire time.
Right.
There would be no, like not even for a second. Not even for a second. But if someone I hated told me that something tragic happened to them, I might be like, sorry. Like, there might be a little moment
a tiny moment of like
a
smirk almost. Like,
yeah, like a little moment of like, well, you deserved it. But like, then you go back to being an adult and you're like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, whatever.
Right. But
that means it's a way to see if a person has your best interest.
Right.
So to look out for either the millisecond of the smile and the frown. Like, he studied it for years.
But, like, speaking of this, like, wasn't there actually one more part, like, to that study, like, which actually spoke about, like, how, like certain people, like, will actually smile, like, as a way of, like, coping with that, like, emotion, like...
Yeah,
so... like, another piece to that?
That's interesting, yeah. So,
certain people, like, don't actually have, like, bad, like, intentions, but, like, part of it, like, it could actually be this way of, like, coping, like, with, like, their sadness or anger or...
So, some people will... It's science. It's psychology. The more you smile, you can trick your brain into believing that you are happier.
Right.
It's science. Your brain, it's almost like the moon. It has these little craters. Every time something tragic happens, it makes another little crater. And over time, you fill them by knocking that thought out of your head. So when you're in the grieving process, you're allowing the thought to infiltrate. And then when you're moving through it, it's slowly getting filled. And every time you knock the thought out of your head, like consciously, not subconsciously, it'll start to help fill in the crack and over time go away. Yes, that's why we grieve, mourn, and then move on. It takes time depending on what your tragedy was, right? So, and who you are and how you heal. But a lot of people, they even tell you, like psychiatrists will say to you... Get stuck in certain
parts of the grieving process?
That happens, but a lot of psychiatrists will tell you, try to smile in the mirror. Like, say daily affirmations, like, I'm happy, I'm this, I'm that. Because psychologically and scientifically, it will allegedly make you feel those ways. Now, I'm not someone who's ever looked in the mirror and done daily affirmations. Not that I don't believe in them.
Right.
I just haven't. I don't know why. I don't know why I haven't done it. Maybe I should do. Maybe I should start trying and seeing if... But I'm a happy person. Maybe I didn't feel the need to try to get happier because I wake up happy. Like, but if I were sad, I think maybe I would try it, I guess.
Right.
I can see... So what the thing was is that what they could be doing is smiling to cope because they want to make themselves feel better. So they're like, you're going to be okay. Like, I don't know.
Could it also be like some type of like subconscious like reaction though?
Yeah. I laugh when I'm in pain, physical pain.
Right.
I don't know why it's a nervous reaction.
And like a lot of people like actually have like that like same like reaction, I think.
Didn't you hear me? I said I'm ready. That tickled.
Yeah, like if I'm in a workout and
you.
it becomes very extensive,
all of a sudden, like
and I'm in a lot of pain, and like I gotta keep going, I can't stop laughing. I'm like, oh my god, and it hurts so bad that I'll just keep laughing through it. So, I mean, yeah, I do. I guess I do that, but I don't think I would laugh through someone telling me something bad happened.
Right.
I think it's different. Like, coping would be if the situation affected you as well. This situation is only going to affect one person.
Right.
And it's the person telling the story.
Interesting.
And that's the person who's supposed to look out for everybody's millisecond of their
Watch out for everyone's intentions.
The first
people.
Millisecond of their face will tell you everything.
So, like, could this like almost be like of like having vultures like surrounding you, like waiting for you, like to like fall, like waiting for you, like to like fail, and like all of a sudden like that's gonna be like the one thing like these people like I can latch on to.
Totally. Yeah. That's what it is. That's what they feed off of. They're like, how can I drain you to fuel me, because I have nothing in my life. That's why people talk about you, because when they talk about themselves, it's so boring, no one listens, but they talk about you, it's interesting.
Yeah.
You know?
That's true.
So, like, it's kind of sad. That's why I say, you have to feel bad for these people.
Let them hate.
Yeah. Like, I love when people paint this picture of me that I like. I care so much. It's like, you girls are bleaching your hair and gluing fake eyelashes on your face. Like, you guys are, and you have fake nails. Are you guys serious right now? Like, I haven't dyed my hair. I like hardly wear makeup. I get my nails done like here and there. My real nails. Like, I don't have fake eyelashes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so down to it's so projected and like easy to see with everyone. Like, you'll have someone who knows, like that kid who wrote on this podcast, wrote me up a wall. Like, what are you going through that you need to come at Jared right now? Like, are you out of your mind? What are you going through? You must be suffering. And I'm like, that's really sad. And you see my millisecond of a smirk before I say that's really sad. That's because they hurt my friend. So I'm like, but if I didn't know them, I'd be like, that's scary and sad.
I mean, like, speaking of, like some of these like hated comments that like won't even have like any profile pictures. Like, I mean,
that's what I said.
I mean, like most of these people like won't have like any posts like on their pages. Like, meanwhile, like they're gonna be the ones who are gonna like make fun of my speech. Like, who are gonna like make fun of like what I'm doing. When like meanwhile, like these people are too afraid, like, to even like posting things themselves, like, so like this actually brings me back to like, so like a few months ago, like RJ was actually talking about like how these people like are basically admitting like the only thing like these people could do better than me like is like speak be like in the same breath, like all these people like are actually choosing not to speak, like meanwhile like here I am like I'm posting like twice a day, like posting everywhere, and so like based on that, like I'm not letting any of this stuff like limit me, but like all these other people are actually too afraid, like it's even like use like their own like perfect speaking voices.
Exactly. And I thought it was interesting because when you posted our first podcast, my heart dropped.
Really?
And especially when I saw the preview and I saw the photo.
Right.
And I saw it, the real intro, and my heart dropped.
In a bad way or a good way?
I was petrified. Like,
really?
What is it going to look like? How did he chop this up? Did he go in on me? Like, just a million thoughts. First thing, I was like, did I say something stupid? And it'll kind of lead us. I guess it could lead us into the next episode. We could start with like GMOs and shit. I could just say one thing I'm curious about.
Yeah.
You're gonna enjoy this. Anyways, let me know if you're cool with it. I want to make sure I get an answer to this.
All right.
Who understood, figured out, did it, like In what ways? Milk. Did you first go grab the udders? Did you try to drink from the tap? Why? What made you do it? How did this happen? Who started milk?
Interesting.
Who did this? It's not right. We're not supposed to drink milk. And like, I love cheese and I drink milk, but who? I mean, as of lately, in the last month, I've been able to.
I may have to
ever since I thought of this,
debate with you like a little bit so especially because like raw dairy like actually has like tons of like nutrients like has tons of like benefits. But like of course like there are also like plenty of vegans who obviously don't believe in like drinking like milk. But like I'm not sure.
As of recently,
I believe in it, but like
as of recently. So you remember I was carnivore diet like to max,
but like I'm having
like a week ago.
Yeah.
Or when was that? Like a month ago.
You switched it up recently.
When was it?
So like my last episode was like a month ago.
Okay, so it was like a month ago, right?
Right.
I bought chickens, and they asked me. First, I went to Tractor Supply and got some basic chicks, and then I went to Long Island Poultry and got some fancier birds. Now with my chicks from Tractor Supply, where they get more chickens in bulk, which is just kind of less. It's better than I mean, it's not. I would prefer a breeder, but anyway, they go to me. Do you want medicated or non-medicated chickens? They were only 2 days old.
Right.
I was like, what do you mean? Medicated or non-medicated food, medicated or non-medicated water. And I'm like, well, what? So I look at it and I'm looking at, she goes, you have to have this, which I don't give it to my birds and they're thriving. It was called Hydrohen. I don't recommend it. I couldn't understand half
like
the stuff on. Yeah. It says electrolytes and like peptides or something. And it's literally just a crap ton of natural flavors and this and that and bullshit and like all these random things I can't even understand.
Right.
How many things I'd have to Google to know what this is? Forget about it. Like the birds can have the chick starter and that's it. Like they don't, and regular water. They don't need all this other fancy stuff. In the wild, they live longer and their access is like rainwater and rivers, like, you know? So, they asked me that and it really, a switch went off in my brain. Then I bought the chicks, I bring them home. Yes, bonding with them changes things, but I've already bonded with animals because I grew up with horses and lived always. Yeah, I rode my whole life, so I like muck stalls and like do all that stuff because I've always just been with animals my whole life, like barn animals. Forever. Yes, until like 22 when I moved to the city. And then when I came back, I didn't get another horse because I got older and I haven't. But yes, I rode my whole life. I had horses. So,
have you become vegan?
No, I mean, not on purpose. I don't know what's
since
going on.
buying chickens?
No, it's not like that. It's not like a moral thing. Like, I don't, because listen, these animals, I'm sorry, they're going to die anyway.
Right.
This is not a moral thing.
And also, like, animals, like, actually eat, like, other animals, too, like, which is definitely another piece to it. Like, so like, this isn't me, like, criticizing, like, any vegans out there, like, so, like, I'm obviously, like, two of my friends, like, are vegans, like, so, like, everyone, like, entitled to have, like, their own beliefs and stuff.
This isn't a belief system.
What
There's
is
something,
it?
like, I don't know what happened to my body.
What happened to you? Right.
I was on the carnivore diet for years.
Right.
And then, like,
you just tell me
after the chickens, oh my god, I just had goosebumps on my cheeks because it grossed me out. I'm like, I was thinking about the cows. I'm like, oh my gosh, they pump them with growth hormone. They pump them with stuff to fatten them up. They feed them shit to fatten them up. They give them antibiotics.
You can also like buy from organic farms.
There's a guy that worked on a farm for someone, and he would give the horses their antibiotics. And he became so immune to it. He had a staph infection. He went to the hospital and none of the medication worked for him because he was so immune from not even ingesting, just distributing, administering the antibiotics to the cows. So why would we want to eat the direct result of the animal than the milk? Furthermore,
I agree.
An even more potent version of it.
So like speaking of this, I actually like fully agree with you. Like when it comes like to like conventional like raised like animals, but like there are also like farms that actually do things the right way. Like so there are farms that, like do actually feed like their animals like high quality food, like treat them more humanely and stuff like that. So like my personal like belief like is like we should actually be buying from those farms like as opposed to like encouraging more of this like toxic like behavior like towards animals, like especially because so like I'm actually all for like treating animals like right, like feeding them right, like and like not poisoning them with all this nonsense like antibiotics like all that like all that crap. But like I do believe it's just like my personal belief. Like I do believe God did actually put animals here like as like part of our nutritional needs.
I totally agree. I think there's a pecking order, and I believe we're at the top.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why I was actually talking to some people about splitting a cow and just like sharing it because it's expensive and it's a lot of meat. We should have to buy the freezer. And then I don't know, like maybe then I won't feel so skeeved by meat and dairy. But right now,
it's an interesting
every time I look at it, I can't even think about it. I'm like, I just think of live animals getting injected, like, and being traumatized. And then, like, you believe in energy, right? Think of what do you think they were feeling when they were dying? What are you eating?
Like,
that energy.
Once again, like when it comes to things like conventionally raised like animals, like yes, like so, you're actually totally absorbing like all that like horrific toxic energy. Like so, like I actually totally agree with you. Like when it comes to that,
I think it might be an empath thing. I feel like I'm empathetic towards them now, and I can feel their pain, and I can't eat them. And like it grosses me out. I'm like not even other people. Like I still make like I made dinner for 6 people the other day. I made them a 10-pound ham. I just didn't eat it.
Right.
Like
really?
like I just didn't eat it. I had the mashed potatoes. Like I don't know what it is. I just something has changed. And I bought butter and it said just milk was the only ingredient. Milk.
You still couldn't have it?
No, I ate it. I was good.
Oh, okay.
I was good.
Good.
That's fine. So I think it's something about I can feel these processed things. I feel like I can taste. I don't know.
That's powerful.
I don't like it, but anyway,
yeah.
So we'll get into that next time.
All right. So like, anyways, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Be sure to drop a like, leave a comment, and let both of us know your thoughts on this episode. Like as I already said to Nicoleta, she's always like welcome to come back. So like we're gonna have to like run more episodes soon enough. And so, anyways, follow her on social media. I'm gonna put her Instagram like up on the screen. Thank you for coming on, and so
thank you for having me.
Of course, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.
Bye, guys.